Opened our small family business in 1982 in a small 1,200 square foot building in Glendora. For the last 36 years, we've constantly been growing and building custom cars. Pretty much been involved in all aspects of the automotive industry. Through the years, my daughters have come into the business and become very large icons in the industry.
Even though I enjoy everything as far as cars go, I enjoy more of the off-roading part of it, because growing up, we always went on vacation either to like Colorado and Utah.
Dirt bikes, motorcycles, building dune buggies, taking the kids out since they were 3 years old to Glamis and out to the desert. My older daughter just got done racing the Mint 400, and the younger one goes and does Rubicon Express,
The slow crawling one, my sister's the fast one, so.
2 years old, I had my little three-wheeler next to my parents, with their motorcycles, and I kind of got into everything through graphic design. I've really been able to bring both of those together and kind of see, what I can come up with.
I started working here when I was 15, and I started the truck shop side, the off-road side of the shop when I was 16 on a website, and then 18 I started the brick and mortar store. So now I run the aftermarket part of LGE CTS Motorsports.
So it was probably late, like 89, 90, when I first started to become involved in SEMA builds.
I want to say in the 80s, I remember my dad doing his first SEMA build. I want to say it was like 87. It was like a Blazer, two-door Blazer that was lifted, and it had like these music notes going down the side, and of course it was like pink and green stripes, and had all the colorful, the shocks with all the colorful shock boots, and I was like, typical 80s.
97, 98 rolled around. I was heavily involved. We were already probably producing 6 to 7 vehicles every year for SEMA then. And at that time, that seemed overwhelming. Never thought it would become double that, as time went on.
So it's kind of funny because actually the first vehicle that I fully designed myself and worked on was in 2000, and that was when Ford brought back the Ranger, and so that was the Ranger Edge. Kind of cool that I'm again working on, a Ranger that just came out, got to design it again. One of the 7 Rangers that are out right now. Basically, the whole SEMA process of building a project vehicle starts in the beginning of the year. Everyone thinks oh, it's just towards the end and you have those couple weeks to do it, but really the process starts, in January. And
every year we don't get a vehicle, but every year we try. And this year we got 2 vehicles from Ford, so that was pretty awesome.
So by giving us a chance to show them what we can do with the vehicle, they get to take all those different ideas from all us different builders and put them into one pot and go, wow, look at this and look at that. And we could use that grill out of this guy's truck, and we like the way this guy did his steps, and we like the way that guy did that interior. And they can pull from all those items and actually use those to develop the new cars, to get them out in front of people and show them what we can do with something that's brand new and how we can change it, even make it better.
We were able to go out to Detroit and actually look at the Ranger. That kind of helped a little bit, but pretty much we don't actually see the vehicle until 5.5 weeks right before the show. I really knew on the design that I wanted to do something more Prerunner, off-road, look like that, either possibly long travel suspension, something like that. But we didn't really know, again, with the time frame and everything, what we could do in that time.
We don't actually get the Ranger until September. Everyone's building new product, and it's hard because they're on the same time crunch that we are, so.
All this has to happen with 5 or 6 different manufacturers all coming together to get you products, and different people coming together to try put that car together in such a short amount of time.
First it was oh, you might have 8 weeks. You might have 7 weeks. No, you might have 6 weeks. So I think it was 5.5 or 6 weeks that we had on the build. And then the craziness begins as soon as the Ranger gets here. It's pretty much like, as soon as it gets there, it's like, tear it apart. Who needs to come in? Who needs to help out? We kind of set it up. We already had wheels and tires that we knew that we wanted to use, so we put those on. Okay, stick out pretty good right now. The offset was a lot wider. We need to build the fender flares. We need to build them so that they just, you know, for me, it's like I like to see just a hint of tread past the wheel well. You want to measure that?
Sarah, she is the best when it comes to getting parts. She's on top of every single manufacturer consistently finding out where those parts are, how come they're not here.
We went to Jeremy and Dylan and asked them all at Icon if they would partner with us on the Ranger this year. Dylan said, yeah, he'll make a kit, and he came out here and they kept coming out and test fitting things.
Things you do to make a tire fit, huh?
All right.
So it was cool. We were able to get some CAD renderings of things so that they were able to work on the suspension a little bit sooner. But still, you don't know. You know, you put your part on and you're hoping everything's right. So.
I needed. With the addition of an upper control arm and a longer shock that all add more angle, we can get almost 3 inches more down travel out of the suspension, which is, when we measure the total travel, I bet you it's going to be around 40% more wheel travel. Should be good.
The clearance looks amazing with the design of the fenders and the fender flares. And the off-road ability is going to be amazing too, because we have the new Icon coilovers on the front, and it has the bypass shocks alongside of it, and we have the triple bypass in the rear.
I know you want to get it on.
I want to do it probably with all the weight on the truck.
Yeah, it's something we should do close to last.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we got a back bumper still, and right?
Back bumper, rear tire, a couple cans.
Yeah, you'd replace the overload with the 3-leaf, and then it's the staggered progressive path.
Right.
That's the short body. So I was thinking if we had to go into the frame, it would clear this, but it doesn't look like we have to.
Yeah, I think we're going to be okay.
We're good. Yeah, we're not going to crash that at full droop, so.
Hey, Richard.
You would never think it'd take 3.5 weeks to build 4 fender flares, but it's pretty time consuming. Probably one of the biggest challenges is when Teresa said she wanted to put the 35s on it and have a certain looking style of a fender flare, a special unique look. So she actually foamed the whole entire fender, and then she got out there and hand formed exactly the shape of the fender flares that she wanted. Then we fiberglassed the fender flares, pulled the glass off of the car, removed all the foam from the inside, reglassed the inside of it. So once the flares are done, they were actually just like a standard flare would normally be if it came out of a mold, but yet every one was individually made.
So to me, it's like you always want to give something a little more like aggressive look to it, but I really like the shape and the front end of it, so we kind of like tapered everything in so that it still followed the body lines of the vehicle as you looked at it. Fun part, mixing it. Not a pro yet at this.
The best part was we were able to actually work from this vehicle from the ground up. So you have a brand new design. She's trying to come up with new bumper designs, and you're working with something that has a really unique design on the front. The grille sits physically a little higher than where the end of the fenders come up. So you're trying to design a bumper that will actually tuck up underneath the bumper, roll around to the front of the grille, look level and not look like it's going downhill or uphill, and looks like it's actually supposed to fit the vehicle. It's not as easy as it looks.
That tube will roll in there like that. You can kind of see how it'll hide that gap. So like right about here, that bumper's starting to come just underneath that fender. So as we tweak that bumper in, it'll come just on the outside bottom edge of that. So it'll make this look really nice, fill that gap. You won't even notice that the body rolls downhill.
Right now, Rich is going to help me get the bumper lined up perfectly level. Then it'll take two of us to lock up the bottom two to get our measurements. You need to go up on your side. Up, up, up. One of the reasons why we can get these vehicles done in the time that we get them done is our employees. They've got tons of experience. They've been with us for years. They actually know pretty much what they need to do. But the best part about it is, like Richard's my fab guy or my painter or my body man, is we can go in and look at something and pretty much be on the same page. He can talk to me, give me his ideas. I can give him my ideas.
Kick it to the passenger side, bottom passenger side. Yeah.
We can all look at something and say, no, actually, this is the best way to get there.
Right there.
Guessing right there. Look down the top.
Matches these.
No, I meant like this is on that angle.
Oh.
So I can go top to bottom with that, so that looks finished off
Because
right
it
there.
is. So when I have this here, and then we put two more, like one right here and one right there. So see, that's where I said that's where it starts to turn. I don't want to go past.
All right, Teresa, there's your new position.
Is that when you supercharge it, then you can have the 37, huh?
Yeah.
Or
It
the
is.
turbo?
It's already turbo.
One? Yeah.
Just re-gear it and go.
Gear it and go, huh?
Re-gear it and go.
We're going to try to utilize this bolt hole here that holds in the ring gutter. And maybe we can come in through the bottom and get it all mounted nice and secure.
Plastic piece inside. What we do is that actually comes up all the way to the edge right here. And so we push it inside of there, and that kind of helps maintain that overall wheel well shape. And so you can push it up inside of there, it's all like nice and smooth, and the arc's really nice.
Push down on that A-arm.
Yeah, that looks good.
thin reservoir,
Okay, cool.
not a regular one.
The other side looks the same as first, behind it.
We were gonna put it up
Okay,
here,
yeah.
but the washer bottle's there on the other side.
Oh, you want them consistent on both sides.
Yeah,
Totally. Can you see it there?
not very well. That's why originally it was gonna be up here.
Got it.
It was like 1987, I put like 3 of them at an angle.
Yes, there you
Put
go.
some neon things on it. Straight up and down.
Yeah.
Good, more leverage.
Thank you.
You know, these vehicles are going to be the ones that are in their booth. They actually make up their entire booth. So, you know, Ford wants to make sure that, you know, you're going to provide them with an awesome vehicle that they can, you know, display in their booth.
They usually always want to make sure their logo is visible, that their emblems are visible. There's certain body lines. If it's a body line that's a signature body line, it always has to be shown. But they still want us to create something that's new and different.
So like the front bumper, the sidebar, the rear bumper, and the bed cage are going to be painted the similar color like the inside of the wheel.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's going to be that flat bronze color to accent the paint on the outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
More aggressive than I thought it was going to be by just looking at the picture.
Oh, really?
He doesn't know you.
He needs to finish the rear flare, then we need to finalize these up in the paint shop and really get them sanded down and body lines finished off and stuff too. We can also do one side, we were having it scanned, and then they can use that one and they can do a mold of the other side. We thought the reservoir looked really nice. He showed me later, he's like, oh, I'm gonna put it down here. I'm like, why? Like, you can't even see it. And he's like, well, there's a washer bottle on the other side. I was like, no, we can get rid of that. Like, so now the reservoir will go like right there on both sides.
Upper A-arm that we just installed a couple hours ago, we designed it completely off of the CAD data.
Wow.
And it fit like
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
perfect. So it'll be a steel skid plate that incorporates a shock mount to the back of it, and then an upper mount here for a secondary shock. And then what we're looking at is both reservoirs mounting up here. So there'll be adjustable reservoirs here.
These are the fender flares. You're doing all this. Do you have enough time? And there was a little bit of hesitation there, and kind of like, and I was like, yep, we can do this. And you know, they were like, okay, everything looks good. You know, they were really happy with it and stuff. But not only do we work on just one project, the Ranger that we've been talking about, we actually had multiple projects. We actually had a Ford Expedition that we did that, oh wait, are we talking past tense or previous, or does it matter?
It makes more sense when this way, but if you take and go like this.
But then it's a sharper
yeah.
angle.
Here, is that
Got it. Too many angles. Okay, got it. Totally.
like why
Yep.
not bring this just
all the way
straight?
or something. Okay.
Because you're taking it around the other side, right? Or no?
That one ends, but that one follows the right angle there. In the front, it's a little different too.
Let's
so
see
like,
what you got there.
So here I did. You're right. It
Okay.
follows that angle. So totally makes sense.
yeah.
I see you have like that little pin stripe with the silver around there.
Yeah.
So if you have silver with that,
And then next to it, yeah. This is the top. So this is what the top will be.
Okay.
So that is finished up here. So next.
It's just awesome how like you look at it from a different angle.
You think it's almost black or
Yeah,
something dark,
and then you
yeah,
look,
and then the light will hit it kind
yeah.
of thing,
No,
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice.
Cool. And then we can go look at the interior samples.
Yes.
So, okay. So it's getting there, yeah. So I was all excited because their flannels, like their patterns look so much more modern. And that's what you guys had picked too, is like, it looked
Right.
more like this one. And I was like, exactly, like I want, you know, so I'm
Right,
like,
right.
I was glad. I was like, okay, cool. We're on the same page with that.
It looks awesome. As always, girl.
Awesome.
Any other
more
questions?
We're all, I know, it's like we've been together.
We have been doing this way too long, girl.
You don't feel like you're on the spot, do you? So every year for SEMA, we basically have like a deadline or a cutoff date of when we will not accept any more project vehicle builds for SEMA. So typically it's like the last week of August. So in about the beginning of August, we actually got some calls from Kia. Then it was like, hey, we also have this build going on for New York Fashion Week. We're like, is this all the same? No, oh, this is different? Oh, okay. New York Fashion Week, cool. When's New York Fashion Week? Oh, it's the first week of September. I'm sorry, it's the first week of August right now. You want us to build a vehicle? By then, I was like, okay, and it has to drive to New York. Got it, and we're on the West Coast.
And these are 28s, I think, or 29s, like the size of the tire, so we're going to 31. So not too bad, but aggressive tire. So that the drivers know, or maybe they just know to be off of it, and then come back into it.
Yet. We've been working on it, but so right now we're still fully on street tires. We're not even aired down, and it's got us up to this point. And so we're in the soft sand that normally two-wheel drives cannot do. So it is an all-wheel drive. So, you know, we're gonna try it out up here and see what happens.
Yeah, but it's trying its hardest not to let me spin a tire.
I know.
All right, did you see what you needed to see? I'll do a donut in both directions real quick and you'll, or I'll attempt.
Right?
See, even on this side, it's not as bad, but I noticed when he came back around, it does the same thing because it's almost too much drag on it. They said we can, if we unplug that, it will disengage the rear end, so it will just be front wheel drive.
Got it, okay.
And we'll see if when we do it, make it into front wheel drive, if it will be.
Nips it.
Yes, correct.
All
so
right.
electronic wise, we were trying to check that part out.
Not just that we're working on the Ranger and, you know, and building custom parts for these vehicles and stuff, there is also the fact that we actually, on the Kias, they were actually driving at the show. And that was our first time ever trying to accomplish something like that.
She has a look and a style that she wants. I mean, she'll say, okay, I need these three with the brush guard like this and a bumper like this, and I need a rear bumper this design, and I need two roof racks that look like this. And then she'll pull a quickie on me and say, but the next one over, we don't want that front bumper guard to look like that. We want that bumper to look like this. So all of a sudden, my repetitiveness of making 3 or 4 of the same item just went away. So now I'm doing 2 of one and 1 of another and change the back a little bit. So we need the light bar, and we need to figure out how far we're going to make that, how big we're going to make that opening. This frame rail right here, I can cut that much off.
If you want, yeah.
And get rid of it. And we could probably hide that with a piece of plastic. We could probably hack that part off.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and then I can come off with my skid plate right here and go back.
Right.
So, you know, there's 2 ways we can do this. Get the light in, and like we said, when you're done, you just go from here straight up to the tube.
We can float this whole bottom rail on that.
Right.
On that
End of August, beginning of September, we literally finished that build and then went right into working on these other 4 Tellurides that came along and all these other builds that we actually had planned out. So it's definitely been a crazy SEMA this year. There's so much. There's so much when you put it that way. I know, huh? Yeah, there is a lot happening.
more aggressive. So I just want to knock that down. So this one's smooth. This one you can.
I really got into understanding colors more and understanding textures, different things, way they affect things, the look of a vehicle, and just really start to have fun with things in the design. And
You know, it's hard to get that intensity of the yellow. Okay, it's funky. It's like a marigold. So most of the colors that I pick all have to do with desert landscapes. The deepness of the green next to it with that brightness of the yellow, but it'll be really small and fine, so it'll just make everything else pop. We'll see. We're gonna mess around. I don't know. Something like that. See what it looks like. So do 20. Start adding and see what the color looks like. It's always a fine line.
I'm always messing around and kind of, you know, mixing up colors and you know, with PPG and stuff, I'm able to do that with my Enviro-based paint and really get the exact color that I want with all the different toners that we have here.
So we did a F-150 for Weston, and it was a PBR one, and it had a bull on the top, and it went from a graphic that went from the hood to the roof to like the side, right? So if you looked on top of it, it looked cool because you could see it like that, but it literally was like, felt like a gymnast, and I felt like the Mission Impossible would have been like perfect for that. So that was random. So I was like straddling like the windshield, trying to like pull lines, and yeah, it was very interesting, and that was the first time I thought of Mission Impossible. It'll happen someday. And so I had the yellow edge of the pinstripe just coming around and detailing that one high edge around there. I'm gonna keep the green in the center, probably put like, possibly like the color changing color right on top of it. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Like, it's not the falling part. I'm afraid to damage the car. So that's always the fun part about renderings, is when you think it's gonna be exactly like that, but you actually have body lines that don't match the graphic that you had to begin with. This body line is much higher, and this graphic should be right here, but it won't look right, so I'm gonna have to rethink the design.
Now I'm moving something, I'm actually moving it like a whole foot forward because it didn't look right. So then I'm moving that, but then changing the angle of something, so then it looks different, and I just wanted to make sure that they were okay with it too. So they came back, they were fine with everything, but still then that put us off too, and it's just the craziness and how all of that process works.
So what I'm doing is I've already sprayed the black as the base, and then I'm masking, I'm covering up that graphic right now. So as you can see, like I have the fine line tape. The yellow tape is just my guide. I use the fine line as the actual masking because it has a nice crisp edge on it when you spray it. So right now I'm going to use the other tape and then go ahead and back tape, and you'll see I'll go ahead and cover this up now. And once this is covered up, we can go ahead and spray the rest of the vehicle.
my SEMA's like before the SEMA show, because it's like, that's what we do, is we build cars for SEMA. So like I think of SEMA as being like from September to November. It's like this, you know, I don't know, 8-10 week thing that always happens to us, you know? So during SEMA time, basically there's one event that I just love attending each year. It's, you know, Jesse and I, we went to it a few years back, and Babes Ride Out. It's an all women's motorcycle event that they have out in Joshua Tree, out in the middle of the desert. It is probably one of the best events that I usually go to during the year.
Put it on just like an evening dress.
And then regular shop work that we have. So we do collision repair and other paint work, and just, it's just the craziness of all of this.
You'll find out that you see certain builders all the time, because those builders are the ones that the manufacturers actually physically depend on, because they know those are the ones who actually can pull this off. So SEMA is always a crazy time, because you're already trying to make sure that you have your normal cash flow. So you have your normal customers coming in, you're trying to get your regular work done, and now all of a sudden you're coming in with all these great looking ideas and custom cars, but with no products that are actually developed for the vehicle yet.
You have to make sure there's a timeline. There's no going over or anything like that. There's literally a deadline, and if you don't make that, it's probably pretty much off the program after that, so.
Yeah, so it'll sit
and that's
right
literally
inside.
going to be just the
Yep.
gate height all
It's
in
inside.
front. That plate sits there,
Okay.
angles up, and it sits flat, and then I'm going to have one in the back coming down to it.
Okay. It just kind of goes back and forth until you finally find a groove of what's working and what's not, and.
So you'll be able to fill it, and I want it to sit flat.
I'm short.
I know. You know what? We can put a bed step on it for you, though, right in front. Call Lampo. We're going to meet him out here.
There you go.
It's called the Jeff call instead of mine.
This is like the morning day shift right now, but I think we've been pulling the night shift. Everyone's been coming back and going, and this is like they're really crappy.
I finally took a shower yesterday.
This is normal. This is the end. So 2 nights ago I got 3 hours of sleep. Last night I got 2 hours of sleep. You can tell my voice is dwindling. I think we're all just slowing down. We're ready.
No, I just noticed the exhaust is loose, and I was like, who installed that? Oh yeah, I did.
And then you see Rolando and his feet.
Settle down for the night.
Finally, it just all seems to come together at the end.
So vicious, right? Huh.
Lots of great new Rangers to take a look at, customized here in the display, and we have lots of great prizes that will be given away throughout the week. Our press conference is coming up at 10:30 this morning, so make sure you're back here for
Every year, every time, every vehicle is always a challenge. But as long as you have a good focus and a good crew behind you, it's amazing what you can pull off. And the vehicle has to look absolutely, totally perfect.
We got Retailer of the Year from LTAA this year. And last year, I got the SBN SEMA Businesswoman of the Year award. This year, my sister got an award from SEMA.
Next, we have the 2018 Expedition by LGE CTS Motorsports. Subtle brown tones with a matte gray top complement the matchy roof rack with wood inlays. A Baja forged front bumper gives you the peace of mind to tackle any terrain. And custom lighting and leaded seating complete this overland concept.
So I started off in LTAA, which is Light Truck Accessory Alliance, as a select committee member. I've been volunteering on that as a select committee member now for about 7 years. And that kind of led me to volunteering at other areas in SEMA. So I've helped with the SEMA education on the scholarship side. I also volunteer for SEMA Cares, which is the side of SEMA that raises money for 3 different charities. And it's probably one of the biggest advices that I always give to other people, especially young people getting into the industry. I'm like, just join and volunteer. You meet so many great people.
It's all going down at Kia Central. What's up, guys? You're wondering what's going on, guys? That's right, it is our Telluride Court Track.
We do it together.
You're gonna match up the helmet size and the back side. What size helmet you are?
Medium. You look like no medium. These are fun. You said it's a comedy show?
Behind me, sorry.
Put my sunglasses on.
Ready? Go.
Ready, go. Nope, it won't happen. There. Nope, it didn't.
Nope, didn't work.
Oh, that does look much better. You have more glasses. Nice and smooth like nothing.
The first time we tested, we kind of nose dove and stuff like that. This time it was like, dink, and you're like, whoa!
Actually putting them out there into the test and actually functioning in front of everyone is a completely different. Got nervous, but we did it. Especially with all the other builds we had, so.
The overall look of the Ranger is probably one of the best I've ever seen. The vehicle isn't overdone, but at any angle, no matter how you look at it, it catches your eye. A great paint job on it, It's not too bright, it's not too loud, but yet when you look at it, you can see all the subtle touches of the graphics, the custom paint. The best part is now that we've made these changes with like really nice looking fender flares and knowing people can put 35s on them without really physically lifting the vehicle more than 2 inches, and that's pretty huge. Having a bumper that gives you that ground clearance and a high stance, so when you look at the front of the vehicle, it looks like it's been lifted 5 or 6 inches, but it isn't. My kids have been actually physically running the shop for over 18 years. So they are the shop. I mean, I'm pretty much in the background. I say back in my little area. My daughter does the drawings. I help her do the fab work, the way she draws up things. Now it's time for them to kind of start taking over all the way. So myself and my ex-wife, Jerry, we're both going to kind of step out of the picture and let the girls run with the business and just kind of take it to another level. They already know exactly what they're doing. They've been doing it forever, and they have a great passion for this business, and they're just going to keep pouring it in there, and they're going to come up with great new ideas, and if you watch them run, they're going to come up with some crazy stuff.
So for us, it's not going to be like a huge change as far as taking anything else on. We're excited because we are going to be expanding differently this year. We're going to be focusing a lot on our vehicle builds. But I mean, like I said, my sister and I, my brother-in-law, we've been here for over 20 years, physically working at the shop. And my sister and I have been involved in the shop our whole lives.
You know, things are changing slightly, but I really don't think you're going to see that many changes, except that we're going to do a lot more out there. So. I work for LGE, well, work for, I don't know. Well, yeah, I work at, what do you say? What does everyone say? I am like, okay. I'm like, why does that sound all weird?